Abe in the series. He was really good at his one of his home tracks in Japan, in Sugo, and he's been going pretty well here.
Yeah, Abe had a podium in race number 1. Didn't finish race number 2, but as you say, podium start. Right, looking forward to this. Super Sports 600cc, race 7 of 10 of the season. We are at Sepang in Malaysia for round 4. On pole position, Andy Farrid to the right of your screen. Gets off to a solid start. Chip Nakarin and Kritchapon also get off to a nice little start. But it is Andy Farrid Izaha, or Andy Gilang as he is nicknamed, who has made a really, really steady start. How about Helmi Azman? Helmi's made a reasonable start for the Bunchu Honda racing team. So he isn't out of contention in the very, very early stages.
Yeah, and I saw Ibrahim Norrodin trying to make his way around the
crash
outside.
at the back. 1, 2, 3 casualties at the very, very back. One of them is the Yamaha. It might be Galang Hendra who is out, but immediately we've got 3. Well, that's seriously out. There's Ramdan Rosley seems to be one of those as well.
And Soto Furuyama was another.
It's right at the tail. 1, 2, 3. Kito Abe is a casualty there as well, we believe. So it's an awkward left-hander downhill, that corner number 3 at Sepang. But it doesn't usually take out 3 casualties. It has there.
Yeah, I know this is a long lap as well, but there's a lot of machinery lying in the middle of the track at the moment.
Certainly is. There's no yellow flag out at the moment. And Randan Rosley is confirmed as another who just is unable to get out of a big, big, big gravel pit.
Yeah, he had a crash in warm-up this morning too.
In the meantime, though, Andy Farrid has taken full advantage and has established quite a healthy lead.
I think the hope had to be for Nakarin starting next to him would have been to get away at the front, but he didn't do that. And now Andy Farrid, who's been fastest all the way through free practice on Thursday and Friday, and of course in qualifying, is just edging out a lead there. Azroy Hakim Anwar, as he often does, is there at the front.
He is indeed. Azroy Hakim moves into P2. Helmi Azman has also got himself up into P5, the championship leader. There's nothing Andy Farrid can do about what's going on behind him, but Andy Farrid has a really healthy lead, a 7/10 of a second lead in the opening lap, ahead of Azroy Hakim, Chip Nakarin, Ratapong Willerot in the Yamaha. A change of fortune perhaps for Ratapong, who's a fine racer who's not been able to get to the top of podiums this season.
Yeah, 2018 Supersport champion Ratapong.
But he's lost a place there to Helmi Azman. And Helmi, well, he'll be looking ahead of him, Helmi, bike number 32, and just trying to make sure that he doesn't let Andy Farrid get too far away from him. It's a long enough race, it's a 10-lap race, so there is time to claw people back in or work your way up the order, and that's exactly what Helmi Azman has done in the opening lap and a half. He's picked up 4 places.
Yeah, and the version 2022 of Helmi Azman is of a cool, collected racer. He knows he's got plenty of time to make his way up towards the podium positions.
So 4 casualties already. Kito Abe for 1XOX TKR Racing Team, Fairozi for Yamaha, and Ramdan Rosley. So not a great time for 1XOX TKR Racing Team. Both their racers are out early, and also out is Furuyama.
And shout out to the marshals, Des, because there was a lot of machinery in the middle of the track there, and they got it cleared out of the way so fast.
Yeah, they have indeed cleared it up very, very quickly, because it's an awkward position as well going down the hill. There is our championship leader. But look at the lead. It was 7/10 of a second at the end of a lap as Azroy Hakim just holds on ahead of Chip Nakarin. Bunchu Honda in P2 and 4. Ratapong Wilrock going backwards, but it's he's been leading from the start, Andy Gilang. And he'll go into the hairpin at the end of lap number 2 with a very, very healthy lead. Nice and tight from the 2 racers just behind him.
Yeah, I think the only person that can beat Andy Gilang is Andy Gilang. And hopefully he won't do that. Look at what a good lap that was for him.
1.2 seconds for the lead for Andy Gillang. Top speed 248.3. He's just posted a 210.0. He is 0.6 quicker than Eddie. To be fair, Helmi Asman put in a 210.3, but he's even 0.3 quicker than Helmi Asman behind him. And there is Fairozi, looking particularly glum. The beneficiaries of this one, I suppose, are Karoli Dampari and Galang Hendra, who I thought was the Yamaha who crashed out. It was indeed Fairozi. The only compensation is he has tomorrow to make up for it.
Yeah, Ratapong just on the back of that group there. He needs to get a good result this season. Hasn't been the best for him. A lot of expectation. The only Thai Yamaha in this series.
Further down, we've got Irfan Ardiansa, Ibrahim Norrodin, who will try to be forgetting the problems he had in Sugo. Ratapong is able to hold on, but I can tell you what, there's a change there because Helmi Asman's moved into the top 3. Further down, Krichapon has got himself ahead of Galang Hendra. Krichapon on the Honda, Galang Hendra in the blue Yamaha. Again, Galang's gone round the inside and just accelerates through into the... I thought he'd lost it just for a moment. Flailing legs from Galang Hendra.
Yeah, and Krichapon, he should be disappointed with himself, I think, for being this far back, having started from P3 on the grid. But Helmi Asman doing a good job there as championship leader, having started from P8, now P3. He's got himself in front of Nakarin.
Jim Nakarin under pressure from Ratapong Willerot as they come at the end of lap number 3 of 10. The lead was 1.2 seconds at the end of the previous lap. There's the championship leader, Helmi Asman, who's got himself up into P3. And Andy Farid has maintained his 1.2 second lead over Azroy Hakim Anwar. Helmi Asman posting another 2:10.6 lap. Again, it's a 10th down on Andy Farid, who's racing pretty well, Andy Farid. He's had a good week so far.
He's had a great week so far. He has been the rider to beat all the way through. Nakarin's kind of toggling between challenging Helmi Asman and defending from Ratapong Willerot. He's at the moment doing the latter.
A little bit further down, this is Krichapon. What's happened to Krichapon? Bike number 35, he was, as you said, on the front row of the grid, but he's had a bit of a dreadful time out there over the first 3.5 laps.
Yeah, and disappointing for Irfan. I thought he might be closer to the front this time around.
But they're not. 55 is Galang Hendra. Back up to the front. This lead for Andy Farid. This is a dominant performance by Andy Farid, but it's also in P3 a very healthy performance by Helmi Asman. Championships aren't all about just winning race after race after race. It's recovering from P8 on a qualification and picking up as many points as you can, even on those races that you don't win. It's posting decent lap times. It's being consistent throughout the season.
And that is the point about the 2022 version of Helmi Asman. He is capable of doing this. He came back from a poor result in race 1 at Sugo. Came through really strongly in race 2.
4 podiums to his name, which one was a P3 in Sugo. Andy Farid, 1 race win and 2 second places to his name, plus those 2 spectacular crashes. So we can't write this race off just yet. Certainly can't write it off, because those boot shoe Hondas, are they getting closer? The answer is no. They're getting 1/10 of a second further away.
Yeah, really nothing in it, but Helmi's making a move on his teammate now as they go into turn 1. It's a pretty clean one. Let's see whether Azroy was holding him up.
So Helmi now up into P2. That's a good steady performance, good recovery. He avoided all the mayhem at the end of when the crashes happened at the start of lap number 1. And he's just made up ground, got himself up from P8 right the way now up into P2. And Azri Hakim Anwar could pressure him and maybe force him a little bit quicker. What was his last lap time for Helmi Asman? A 2:10.3. So he was 2/10 quicker, 3/10 quicker than Andy Farid. He's lapping pretty consistently those 2:10.3s.
Well, 6 laps to go. That is quite a long time on this Sepang circuit. Perhaps he can move up and ruffle his feathers. I doubt whether Azroy will get in his way. He might just follow him to try and help him to catch up with the race leader.
So these are the two Bunchu Hondas in P2 and P3. Andy Farid, Andy Gilang from Sulawesi is the man who's ahead of them. So it's Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand. And then Ibrahim Norrodin quite a way down in P6. But strong performance by Bunchu Honda. For so long, they were the team that absolutely dominated at the 600cc's. Good to see that the next generation, the Helmis and the Azri Hakims, are also trying to be equally competitive for these teams as they come into the penultimate straight for the 4th time. 4 laps will be completed. We approach the halfway mark. It's the Andy Gilang show at the moment.
It is the Andy Gilang show. What we want to see is whether these two Bunchu Hondas can reel him in. Yeah, no, it looks like that gap might be a little bit smaller. Let's take a look. It was 1.3 seconds last time.
0.9. Yeah, 4/10 off. Gosh, game on, race on. They are closing.
And 5 laps to go.
They are closing. We are at the halfway point of the race. Further down, bike 66, Ibrahim Norrodin. He's also lapping pretty quickly. He just put in a 2:10.8. So he's closing in, or he was closing in. He actually just lost a little bit of time on Ratapong. But we're on board with Ibrahim Norrodin, and that's a despairingly long distance for the racers to be ahead of him, isn't it? You'd much rather be right on the back wheel of them.
Yeah, that is a long way, and all is not totally right as it was last time out in Malaysia. But this is really intriguing. I just I'm hoping for a good race, and I think what that means is that Azroy and Helmi will work together. They're teammates, they're also friends. They should help each other to try and close the gap. I don't think they've made any more impression.
0.9 it was. We'll only really be able to tell. Indeed, Chip Nakarin is the man who's closed up on the other two. So if the racers behind are racing, they take their focus off the man in front, and that helps the man in front. That helps Andy Farid Izdihar if this becomes a battle, and that's exactly what it has become, because Chip Nakarin and Ratapong have both made a move close onto the tail of the two Bunchu Honda Malaysians.
So it could be that Azroy's job description changes to defending his championship leader teammate, but it doesn't look like he's playing it that way. It's looking like a scrap for P2, isn't it?
0.9 of a second was the differential at the end of lap number 5. Both the racers had lapped in the 2:10s. 2:10.9 as Azroy Hakim goes on the inside. Helmi goes just a little bit wide. Chip Nakarin has a little point down the inside. Look over the shoulder from Helmi, who lost a place and has lost ground. And the lead is back up to 1.8 seconds. That is a monstrously good lap for Andy Farid. He is a full 8/10 quicker than Azroy and Helmi on that last lap.
Yeah, what I said about Azroy and Helmi helping each other out isn't happening. They are in a fight for P2. Nakarin wants to take it off him, and Ratapong's hunting for a decent result too, just behind him.
Indeed, Ratapong Willarat, a former champion. His best result so far this season was a 10 points for P6 in Buriram. Other than that, a P8, 2 P8s in Sugo, when he wasn't really contending. He might not contend for the victory here, but he's certainly contending for a podium as the popular Ratapong Willarat.
And the fastest rider last lap was Ibrahim Norrodin.
Yeah, he's closing in, isn't he?
Yeah, so this gets more and more intriguing as Azroy leads the fight for second place currently, but Ibrahim is coming.
This is the battle for P2. You can see the man here, Andy Gilang, is leading the way quite comfortably. Astra Honda Racing having a good day this Saturday at the ARRC, but Ibrahim Norrodin, this is his home circuit, SIC, Sepang International Circuit. That's the team that he represents, so he has done many laps around here.
He sure has. He got a little bit out of shape. He is pushing really hard, so one question will be, will his tyres last to the end of the race? But at the moment, he's got his sights firmly set on the back end of that Thai Yamaha.
Yeah, Rathapong Willarot is the man that Ibrahim Norrodin is looking to capture. But it's a big lead for Andy Farid Izdahar at the moment. Behind them, Galang Hendra and Irfan Adianse, Kritchapon and Karolid Pawi, they complete the top 10. Kondanai 11, Tiying in P12. The other four already out of the race. The lead was 1.8 at the end of the last lap. As Chip Nakarin challenges Helmi Asman, the lead is still 1.8. Andy Farid has the lead, but Helmi Asman is struggling. We were thinking there might be a P2 for Helmi Asman, but he's dropped the place. Look at this, Ibrahim Norrodin's on a charge, but I can tell you Helmi Asman has lost the place to Chip Nakarin. Nakarin is in P3, Helmi Asman dropped to P4, Ratapong 5, Ibrahim Norrodin on a charge in P6.
Yeah, last time around, around turn 15, Nakarin tried to split the two Bunsu Hondas. Now he has done it. So,
good news for the championship, not good news though for Helmi Asman. Now that was a more entertaining shot if you're Ibrahim Norrodin, if you're part of SIC Racing. Nakarin, who was on the front row of the grid, and we were wondering what went. His top speed of 260 kilometers per hour, which by some distance is the quickest so far.
Yeah, and you wouldn't expect one of these 600s to go any faster than that.
It's pretty rapid. So Azroy Hakim Anwar in P2, and he's got ahead of Ratapong, has Ibrahim Norrodin. So Ibrahim Norrodin is up into P5. You were right to call it, he was on a charge, Barry Russell.
He is, and Ratapong finds himself outside the top 5 again. Unfortunately, he hasn't given up. He's going to try and get Ibrahim to haul him up perhaps to that group. We've still got some distance to go, but if this turns into a battle between Ibrahim and Ratapong, they won't make any further progress.
But Helmi Asman will be worried as well, because Helmi Asman has lost touch with Chip Nakarin. Chip Nakarin is closing on the other Bunsu Honda, Abazroy Hakim Anwar. There is Ratapong, tries to retake P5 by going on the inside, but close to the door. Nice low lean there from Ibrahim Norrodin. 2 laps to go. The lead down to 1.2. It's a big lead to lose, but it's only 1.2 seconds. One mistake, and Andy Farid could well find a flag-to-flag victory denied him.
And that was Nakarin, the fastest rider last time around.
2:10.4, a full 7/10 quicker than Andy Farid. Now is Andy Farid just keeping something in reserve, not pushing too hard because he knows he's got that big lead? If that is what he's doing, it's a dangerous game to play.
Yeah, 2 laps to go. It's enough of a margin, probably. And he'll probably have in his mind that he has thrown away a couple of good results so far this season. He won't want to do it again.
I heard you couch that comment, Barry Russell. Probably. But Azroy Hakim closes in. Chip Nakarin can't get close to Azroy Hakim. Time is running out. This is the Bunsu Honda Racing team. They're looking at Azroy, but they're also probably looking at Helmi Asman, because Helmi, the championship leader, is in danger of losing ground here to Andy Farid. Andy Farid looking to pick up 25 points, probably.
And Helmi probably looking to pick up 13. Those are the provisional positions.
They are indeed. Azroy Hakim is holding on in there. Chip Nakarin, having had an explosive last lap, hasn't been able to make any impression, and there is the end of a dreadful day for Kritchapon. He was on the P2 on the grid, and will pick up points. He'll get back onto the bike, but will be outside of the top 10.
Could be a camera angle, but it looks like a much shorter lead for Andy Farid as they come up to the end of the penultimate lap.
It does, doesn't it? It was 1.2 seconds. 1.8 the second before that, the lap before that. 1.2 is down to 0.7.